The temporary ceasefire is over, the war roaring back to life with devastating force. Russian missiles have struck deep into Ukrainian territory, killing 15 miners in a civilian bus attack. Ukraine also unleashing massive drone swarms against Russian positions. As the peace talks continue behind closed doors, the battlefield is telling you a completely different story. Take a look.
The truce is dead. In a brutal opening gambit hours after the ceasefire expired, a Russian strike obliterated a service bus in Dnipropetrovsk. Ukraine says the targeted Russian strike killed miners as they returned from a shift. Russian troops also launched attacks on the southern city of Zaporizhia. Kyiv says that a maternity hospital was badly damaged in the targeted attack. Zelensky calls it Russian terrorism. While the above two were drone attacks, Ukraine says that Russia has started using Kh-32 missiles more regularly in its aerial attacks. Flying at Mach 5 and plunging from the stratosphere in a near vertical terminal dive, these missiles have become Ukraine's greatest nemesis. While US-supplied Patriot systems have successfully intercepted several, the sheer speed and kinetic energy of the Kh-32 make every launch a coin toss with death. The missile is air-launched and designed for long-range hypersonic flight with a reported range of up to 1,000 kilometers. A single Kh-32 carries a massive warhead capable of leveling hardened targets and causing widespread destruction if it gets through. As Russia strikes from the air, Ukraine is hitting back in its own way. Moscow says more than 125 Ukrainian drones targeted Russia's Belgorod region. Amidst the fighting, there's a flicker of hope. Ukraine, Russia and America are set to hold the second round of trilateral talks this week to discuss a US-drafted plan to end the war on Ukraine. Washington is pushing for an end to the war between the neighbors, which has killed tens of thousands, forced millions to flee their homes and destroyed much of eastern and southern Ukraine. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
China has pulled back the curtain on a rare show of naval power near Taiwan. The state broadcaster CCTV has aired previously unseen footage of one of the People's Liberation Army Navy's most advanced warships confronting foreign aircraft using electronic warfare. The visuals focusing on the Yan'an, a Type 055 guided missile destroyer, among the most powerful ships in China's fleet, in fact. According to Chinese state media, this marks the first public disclosure of the ship deploying electronic countermeasures in waters near Taiwan to drive away foreign aircraft. And the report offers no timeline, no coordinates. It also avoids naming the country operating those aircraft. But the sequence itself tells the story, it seems. Footage reportedly showing a crew member spotting a potential threat through binoculars and ordering the ship to prepare. Sensors then detect multiple aircraft repeatedly altering their flight paths, and in response, the destroyer's radars switch to high-power mode, expanding the surveillance. Missile systems then prepare for both active and passive electronic jamming. The Yan'an then calls in backup, and the Shandong aircraft carrier launches 3 aircraft to confirm the presence of the approaching planes. After verification, the destroyer fired 4 electronic jamming missiles, signaling a deliberate but forceful warning. And this revelation lands amid rising regional tensions. Beijing considers Taiwan as its territory and insists reunification remains inevitable. We've been telling you about this all throughout, even by force if necessary, according to it. And while most countries, including the US, do not formally recognize Taiwan as independent, they openly oppose any military takeover. The footage does not identify the foreign aircraft involved, like we said. The Chinese state media also showcasing another Type 055 destroyer, the Nanchang, intercepting foreign vessels during a blue water mission alongside the Liaoning aircraft carrier. By repeatedly altering course, the ship reportedly blocked 2 vessels from penetrating the carrier group. Again, China released no dates, no locations, no names, but the message remains clear. Beijing wants the world to see its growing readiness and its willingness to act as well. And staying with the world of sport, the CEO of Tennis Australia, who also serves as tournament director, has floated a transformational idea for the Happy Slam. He wants women's matches from the quarterfinals onwards to be played over best of 5 sets, and saying that this year's women's final between world number 1 Sabalenka and eventual champion Rybakina, a 3-set thriller, inspired the proposal. Here's exactly what he said. One of the things I've been saying now is that I think there should be 3 out of 5 sets for women. We should look at the last few matches, the quarters and the semis and the finals, and make the women's side 3 out of 5. So it's something we should put on the agenda and start talking to the players about it, because there are some matches in those last rounds which would have been fascinating had they been 3 out of 5 sets. That statement on your screen. Now, best of 5 sets in women's tennis is not entirely new, by the way. Between 1984 and 1998, the WTA finals were played in a best of 5 format. And in 1994, the Australian Open announced plans to make the women's final best of 5 the following year. But the idea was scrapped after Steffi Graf led a player protest. Technically, the Australian Open can make the change without seeking permission from the Grand Slam committee. But Tiley says any decision would only be taken after consulting the players. If there is a positive response, the format could be introduced as early as next year, in fact. And a similar idea was floated last year after world number 2, Iga Swiatek, defeated Anisimova 6-0, 6-0 in the Wimbledon final. But that proposal was quickly shot down by several top players, including Sabalenka and world number 3, Coco Gauff. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.